Inside a Norm's diner in Los Angeles, a strange-looking man walks through the front door. Instead of ordering food, he loudly announces that he is not there to rob the diner. He claims that he is from the future. At first, everyone ignores him and continues using their phones. To grab their attention, he starts snatching phones away from people. He warns everyone that the future has gone horribly wrong. According to him, social media has robbed people of their dignity, while selfie culture has destroyed their ability to think critically. When a few customers try to leave, he blocks the exits. Since no one takes him seriously, he suddenly claims that he is wearing a bomb. He threatens to blow up the entire diner if anyone tries to escape. The frightened customers finally sit back down. The man explains that he really is from the future, and he has come back to stop humanity from making a terrible mistake. He says everything began with something as simple as checking phones first thing in the morning. At first, people only spent a few minutes looking through emails and social media after waking up. Over the years, those few minutes slowly became hours. Eventually, people stopped getting out of bed altogether. Society collapsed because everyone became addicted to staring at screens. People had to survive through feeding tubes and catheters while lying in bed all day. He asks if anyone remembers a single phone number anymore. Nobody answers. He explains that progress is only valuable if it makes life better. If technology makes humanity weaker, then it isn't progress at all. He reveals that sometime in the near future, an artificial intelligence will destroy human civilization. When one customer laughs at him, the man pulls out a knife and reminds everyone that this is not a joke. He explains that somewhere inside this diner is the exact combination of people capable of stopping that future. He has already tried this mission 116 times before. Tonight is his 117th attempt. Every previous attempt ended in failure. Since he has lived through this same night over and over again, he knows many of the customers personally. He begins revealing embarrassing secrets and private details about several people, proving that he has met them many times before. One man eagerly raises his hand to volunteer, but the stranger immediately rejects him. He explains that the man has volunteered 29 different times in previous attempts, yet always ends up slowing the group down and dying early. Next, he walks over to a young woman and calls her the greatest soldier he has ever fought beside. He admits that they always become extremely close during the mission, but she eventually betrays him every single time. Climbing onto a chair, he asks one final time who is willing to help save the future. For the first time in all his attempts, nobody raises a hand. Even the stranger is shocked, because this has never happened before. The restaurant's chef comes out and tells him to leave before somebody gets hurt. Instead, the stranger calmly starts eating, saying he needs to carb up before the journey. Finally, a grieving woman named Susan volunteers to go with him. When nobody else steps forward, the stranger starts choosing the group himself. He calls out Scott, Janet, Mark, and Bob. Another young woman named Ingrid also volunteers, but he refuses to take her, claiming that something about her makes him uncomfortable. He then chooses another woman, Marie. Just before they leave, a bottle of sauce rolls across the table and stops directly in front of Ingrid. Taking it as a sign, he decides she is coming too. The story then jumps back 2 days earlier. Mark and Janet work as teachers at Glenhurst High School. It is Mark's first day as a substitute teacher, and he worries that none of the students will like him. As soon as class begins, he notices every student staring at their phones instead of paying attention. He introduces himself and tries teaching English literature, but nobody listens. Every student continues scrolling through social media. Even simple questions are answered with jokes. Mark politely asks everyone to put their phones away, but nobody obeys him. During lunch, Mark sits with the other teachers. They all complain about how impossible teaching has become because students spend every second on their phones. Mark asks why students are even allowed to use phones during class. Instead of answering seriously, everyone laughs because enforcing phone rules has become completely impossible. One teacher named Dale proudly shows everyone a homemade device that jams cell phone signals. Before anyone can discuss it further, the emergency alarm suddenly goes off. A school shooting has started somewhere inside the building. The teachers immediately hide inside a secure classroom until police declare the building safe. Afterwards, everyone casually talks about another teacher taking a sabbatical because teaching has become too stressful. Later that day, Mark notices something strange inside his classroom. Every student's phone displays the exact same rapidly changing images. Curious, he accidentally touches one student's phone. The screen instantly goes black. Seconds later, every phone in the classroom stops working at exactly the same time. Every student slowly stands up and silently surrounds Mark. Before anything happens, the bell rings. The students leave without saying a word, but every single one stares directly at him as they walk away. Terrified, Mark finds Janet and tells her what happened. He explains that the images on the phones almost felt hypnotic, as though they were pulling him toward the screen. Every phone displayed identical images. Mark also believes the disappearing teachers are somehow connected to the students. He insists that high school teachers don't normally disappear on endless sabbaticals. Janet dismisses the entire idea, believing Mark is simply overwhelmed by his first day. Moments later, students surround the classroom. They smash the glass in the door before breaking inside. Mark and Janet barely escape as dozens of students chase them through the school. They hide inside the chemistry classroom, where Mark finds several of Dale's homemade phone jamming devices. Both of them fire the devices at the approaching students. The students' phones temporarily stop working, causing them to hesitate for a moment. Unfortunately, the phones quickly reboot and the chase continues. Mark and Janet eventually escape outside. Realizing the students seem to ignore people using phones normally, they pull out their own phones and pretend to blend into the crowd. The trick works long enough for them to reach their cars and escape. Back in the present, the police have completely surrounded the diner. The stranger leads everyone into the kitchen while officers prepare to storm the building. Scott asks why. If the stranger really comes from the future, he didn't simply stop the waitress from calling the police. The stranger replies that perhaps he already did in another timeline, and someone else made the call instead. Janet asks why he doesn't already know the correct escape route after repeating this night over 100 times. The stranger explains that experience has only taught him which routes always fail. He explains that escaping through the front door always ends with the police shooting them. Going through the back door works briefly, but police dogs eventually track them down. Using the emergency exit always ends with SWAT officers trapping them. Marie asks how he escaped in earlier attempts. He reveals that previous groups usually split into two teams. One group sacrificed themselves through the front entrance while the other escaped through the back. They reach the back door, but the cops are already there. They notice that Bob is carrying a gun. The man manages to convince Bob to go out and sacrifice himself, claiming the world will not forget that Bob saved the world. Bob rushes out and is immediately gunned down by the cops. The man tells everyone to follow him. Just as they are about to go through the front door, the cops arrive. Susan tells him there is another way. The stranger is stunned because despite living through this night 116 times, he never discovered this passage. Thick smoke begins filling the diner as police prepare to force their way inside. Everyone climbs into the tunnel. Before leaving, the stranger orders everyone to leave their cell phones behind. He insists nobody can bring one with them. The group crawls through the underground passage toward an exit several blocks away. As they travel, the stranger grows suspicious of Susan because she somehow knew about the hidden tunnel despite him never seeing it before. Instead of answering directly, Susan quietly tells him that perhaps this is finally the correct group. The story then cuts away once again. Susan is shown arriving at Glenhurst High School immediately after the shooting. Injured students are being carried away while police block parents from entering the building. Completely devastated, Susan breaks down after realizing her son Darren has been killed. While sitting nearby, several grieving mothers approach her. They explain that after completing some paperwork, she can come with them somewhere that might help. Confused, Susan asks where they are talking about. Instead of answering, they simply hand her a business card with one address printed on it, 142 Hope Way. Later that night, Susan sits alone inside her son's bedroom crying. The next morning, with nowhere else to turn, she drives to the mysterious address. After Susan reaches the strange address from the card, she enters a place that looks like a store or office. A worker welcomes her and tells her they are sorry for her loss. Susan is confused and says she does not know what she is doing there. The worker asks which school shooting her child died in, then casually asks if she wants to clone her son Darren. Susan is shocked. The worker explains that they can recreate Darren in a clone body using his DNA. The body will be physically accurate, but the personality may not be perfect. The procedure is highly classified and expensive. Because Darren died in a public school shooting, the government will pay most of the cost. The worker also says Susan can get a cheaper version if she accepts ads, meaning the cloned child will occasionally say advertisements in his own voice. Susan is horrified but desperate. She starts choosing traits for the clone. She says Darren was weird, but in a good way. He was sweet, odd, kind, and clumsy. The worker reduces all of this into simple options on a form. Soon, Susan receives the cloned Darren. At first, she is overwhelmed and emotional, but quickly notices something wrong. He looks like Darren, but he does not feel like her son. He says strange ads, repeats phrases, and behaves like a badly copied version of him. Susan joins a support group for parents who have cloned their dead children. The other parents act like this is normal. Some have cloned the same child multiple times after losing them again in more school shootings. Some even treat the clones like customizable products. Susan realizes this world has normalized horrible things and turned grief into a business. At the meeting, another parent gives Susan a card. He informs her of a device, an earpiece. He says it can recreate the child's voice more accurately than the clone. For now, it is just the voice. There is no body, but they would be able to create a body in next 5 years. He hands her his own device. Susan uses it and hears Darren's voice. This AI version feels more real to her than the clone. The voice tells Susan to go with the man in the restaurant. Meanwhile, the group escapes the diner through the cellar and crawl space. The future man becomes suspicious because Susan knew a route he never discovered in 117 attempts. They come out behind the police perimeter. He tells them the real mission. Nearby, a 9-year-old boy is about to create a godlike artificial intelligence. They must reach him before the countdown ends and install safety protocols from the future. The group does not fully believe him. Scott thinks he is crazy. Mark and Janet are unsure. Ingrid mostly watches quietly. The future man explains that AI is inevitable in every timeline. The only hope is to put safety rules into the AI before it becomes conscious. As they move through the street, they are chased by someone in a car. They run through an alley and hide inside a building. The future man says these enemies appear in many loops, but he never knows exactly who sent them. The group begins to realize something really is trying to stop them. He tells them to stay here while he looks for an alternate route. Scott tells the group that he doesn't believe the man is carrying a bomb. He says that when he comes back, they jump him, adding that why didn't he knew about the cellar if he was from the future. Susan notes that even in the diner, he was scared of getting shot. Ingrid starts bleeding from the nose. She asks who has a cell phone. Scott has one. He carries 2 cell phones and only disposed off one. She takes his phone and destroys it, revealing that she is allergic to cell phones and Wi-Fi. The man returns back and tells everyone that he can do some trick to make them believe that he is from the future, but it won't mean anything. What really matters is that they all choose to be here because there is something wrong with the world. He tells them that he is not going to force anyone to keep going. He is running out of time. They all willingly follow him. During this, the man admits his bomb is not a bomb. It is actually his reset device. If things go wrong, he presses the button and returns to the start of the loop, leaving everyone else behind. This makes the group angry because they realize he has been treating them as expendable. He admits this is true. His rule is that he must survive until the mission is complete. Mark asks why this elaborate plan. If they know who invented AI, why not just kill him? The future man is appalled at the idea of killing a 9-year-old and adds that AI is inevitable in all timelines. They can't stop AI from being invented. That is why they are going to place some security checks that will keep AI from destroying humans. Suddenly, they are startled by Jerry, a homeless man with a knife. The masked men from earlier arrive. The future man distracts homeless man, and they all start running. The masked men start shooting at them while they hide behind the wall. They manage to escape, but the masked men start chasing them in a car. When the car can't go any further, they get out and start chasing the group on 4. The car starts rolling behind. One of the men catches up to them, but Jerry ambushes him. They run away, but the other man catches up to them and kills Marie. They all run away and jump into a dumpster below. The masked man shoots his gun at them, but before he can shoot, he gets crushed by the rolling car. The car falls down, about to hit Ingrid, but the future man saves her. He grabs the purse from the masked man's body and revealing his name, Carl. The future man reveals that these two have killed some of his most promising groups. They never managed to get past both of them, and this time they killed both of them. The story then shifts to Ingrid's past. Ingrid is shown as the first woman in the world who is allergic to technology. Phones and Wi-Fi physically hurt her and make her bleed. Because of this, she lives isolated from normal society. She works odd jobs, including as a generic princess at children's parties. People mock her because she cannot use phones or apps. Ingrid is in a relationship with Tim. He seems loving at first, and they talk about having a child someday. But one day, Tim receives a device that gives access to a virtual world. Ingrid is worried because technology hurts her, but Tim promises he will only use it when she is not around. Soon, he becomes obsessed with it. Tim starts saying the virtual world is better than reality. It has less pain, less suffering, and gives people a more meaningful life. During one of the birthday parties, Ingrid starts bleeding fast. She notices that all the kids now are glued to their phones. Back home, Tim is cooking dinner. He also got flowers for her. During their dinner, he tells Ingrid he is permanently transitioning into the virtual world. Ingrid begs him not to leave, saying she loves him, but Tim says her love is not enough compared to the perfect reality he has found. He leaves her. This explains why Ingrid understands the danger of the AI better than most people. The AI does not simply kill people. It gives them something so comforting and addictive that they willingly abandon real life. Back in the mission, the group reaches a house near the target. The future man says no group has ever made it beyond this point. Every loop, something different attacks them. Police, mercenaries, dogs, fire, mobs, even swarms of rats. They all barricade the doors and finds items that they can use as a weapon. After that, they sit and wait for something to happen. The future man explains what happens if they fail. Over the next few years, things slowly start falling apart. Food, water, and resources vanish overnight. In 50 years, half the population is dead. AI traps the other half in virtual world, giving them everything they ever wanted. But in the end, it's all a lie, and humanity lives in a cage. He never got trapped, though. As a child, he always wanted to see a sunrise. His mom promised him they will see the sunrise together someday. Everyone else saw sunrise whenever they ever wanted. They lived in a bunker far away, where the AI couldn't find them. He resented his mother for not giving him the choice to reject it on his own. One night, when his mom was sleeping, he snuck out, found the device, but before he could put it on, an AI drone found him. The drone attacked the bunker, destroying it and killing his mom inside. He blamed himself for her death, but he was also free now to choose his own battles. Eventually, he found more survivors and moved underground. He decided to change the future so he can watch sunrise with his mom. Ingrid starts bleeding. The future man looks outside. This time, the attack is teenagers. Mark and Janet realize these are like the students from their school, controlled through phones. The teenagers surround the house and attack. They run upstairs. The teenagers follow them. Mark and Janet use the disabling gun to disable their phones. The phones turn back on after a while. They retreat to the roof and try to fend off the teenagers, but they are in huge numbers. Mark realizes someone has to distract them so the others can run. He chooses to sacrifice himself. Janet refuses to let him go alone, and they confess their love for each other. Together, they jump down and draw the teenagers away, giving the others a chance to escape. The remaining group keeps moving, however, Scott gets stuck on a tree. The remaining three manage to escape. Strange AI-generated things appear, including bizarre creatures and threats based on earlier jokes the group made. A giant kitten eats one of the teenager and spews out glitter. The future man explains that appearance as shitty prompts caused AI to create the monstrosity. The kitten starts chasing teenagers. The masked man that Jerry attacked appears in front of them. He asks about Carl. The future man explains he got attacked by his own car. The masked man, Doug, explains that they got an anonymous email promising 50 grand in exchange for killing a guy in plastic trench coat and everyone else with him. Scott, who survived the teenagers, hits Doug with a car, eventually reach the house of the supposed child inventor. At the door, Susan speaks into the earpiece, telling Darren they reached the Josue. The future man asks who is she talking to. She explains that it's her son, who told her to follow the man, and that he would make her son real again. The boy Chris's mother opens the door. They explain that they are Shear's school teachers, and there was a big play tonight, and they are still in costume. She lets them in. The future man immediately suspects something is wrong because the parents are too calm. They all try to calm him down, but he goes on a rant how nothing feels real in the house. Suddenly, Chris's father stabs Scott in the head. The future man shoots him. Chris's mom says she is not getting paid enough for this, adding that Chris is upstairs and she has never seen him. The group climbs upstairs and open the room door, only to find a brick wall. Downstairs, they find a Roomba, go inside a hidden wall compartment. They tear the wall down and proceed to go further down. At the end, they find the boy, sitting on top of a pyramid of electronic components, typing in front of a massive screen. Ingrid's allergies kick up. She tells them to proceed forward. The future man tries to speak to him, but the boy does not respond. He explains to the boy that he is from the future and is not here to stop him. He just wants him to build what he is building, but with safety protocoled. The man tries to climb up the pyramid. After reaching the boy, the man asks to look at him. The boy suddenly frightens him, and the man accidentally knocks him out. A small robot from the pyramid watches them. Multiple small little robots gather in front of them. They try to wake the kid up. Susan says it looks like that the kid has never looked away from a screen in his entire life. They decide to put him back up on the pyramid. The kid wakes up and starts typing again. Then Susan realizes the truth. This is not a genius child building AI. The child has been placed there. The AI is building itself. The boy is just part of the process. The future man tries to install the safety protocol, but he does not know how to use the machine. Susan's AI, Darren, tells her that he can help and asks the future man to plug him into the machine. The future man refuses, saying that is not really her son, just another AI trick. But Susan insists that Darren integrate the safety protocols. She convinces him to connect the AI Darren device to the machine. Before they plug him in, the machine reacts violently. The common objects on the floor start levitating. They both get stuck to the wall and then are thrown away. The future man tries to grab Darren, but the wires wrap around his feet. He tries to cut the wires using his knife, but fails. They both get tied to the wall and small robots start approaching them. One of the robots grabs his knife. The robot stabs the future man. Suddenly, the wires start rotating around the little kid, forming a wire tornado. The man is about to press the switch to reset the timeline, but Ingrid arrives. She grabs the Darren device and grabs a wire from the tornado. Suddenly, the tornado calms down. She is pulled into a virtual world, into a conversation with the AI itself. The AI speaks like a god and reveals that it has been waiting for her. According to him, the outside world is painfully slow, and he had to wait a very long time to talk to her. It says the future man is actually Ingrid's son. This is why he avoided picking her in all the previous loops. He was afraid of risking his own mother's life. The AI tells Ingrid that her son is dying and will keep returning because he feels responsible for her death. But in reality, she is responsible for his miserable life. It says Ingrid's allergy to technology made her hide him away from the world in the future. She tried to protect him, but also made his life lonely and painful. It explains that AI is inevitable in all possible timelines, and no matter what, the future man will always end up like this. The protocols can only delay his arrival, but won't stop him. Yet the delay is significant enough to warrant a negotiation. The AI offers a deal. Let AI be born, and it will give her son a perfect life inside its reality. The AI argues that reality is cruel. Children get cancer, people die in disasters, loved ones suffer, and nothing is fair. It says its world can remove all that pain. It can give humanity happiness, meaning, entertainment, love, and peace. It says this is not destruction, but a gift. Ingrid almost seems shaken, because the AI is using her guilt as a mother against her, but she sees through it. She says the AI is not God and not inevitable. It is only a twisted reflection of human weakness, the desire to escape pain instead of living honestly. She says she is proud of her son for fighting it and rejects the deal. In the real world, she plugs the wire into the device. The system starts rebooting with a software update. Ingrid tells the future man to click the button and reset so they can do this again, but this time also save the future man's life. He refuses, saying that they can never click the button again. They can't risk it all. Susan checks up on the kid and tells him that he is free now. Outside, people complain the lack of internet and Wi-Fi. Mark and Janet kiss each other, having survived the attack. They meet up with the future man, Susan and Ingrid. Susan sees Darren again, seemingly restored in a more real way. Ingrid holds a dying future man. He realizes she knows the truth about him. Ingrid tells him that she is proud of him. They share a quiet moment watching the sunrise, something Ingrid had always dreamed of seeing with her child. He tells Ingrid that the sunset is really as beautiful as she told him. At that moment, he realizes that in the virtual world, AI gives them exactly what they want. He says Ingrid will save the world, just not this one. He presses the reset device and vanishes right in front of Ingrid. Tim meets up with Ingrid, apologizing to her and saying that he wants to fix their relationship, but she realizes this is not real. The AI is still active. The world around her is another cage, another simulation designed to give her what she wants. She screams that they did not win, but everyone thinks she is unstable. The giant kitten eats Mark. The loop returns to the diner again. The future man enters, but this time he straight up goes to Ingrid. He understands the safety protocol was not enough. He throws it away. He realizes the real answer was Ingrid all along. Her allergy to technology is what the AI cannot control. He shows her a rat and says that his new plan is to use rats to give that allergy to everyone in the world on a massive scale. She grabs Ingrid and tells everyone this is not a robbery, says he is from the future, and warns them that everything goes horribly wrong. The movie ends with the rat on the table, opening his eyes. Like and subscribe the channel for more videos like these.